Hello, and welcome to Health Beat out of Independence Television out of Clarkston, Michigan. I'm your host today, Dr. Barry Hobbs, and we have a special guest with us, Dr. Anna Olivetti out of the Specific Chiropractic Center out of St. Louis, Missouri. And we want to talk to Dr. Olivetti here and find out her passion with what she does as an upper cervical chiropractor, and hopefully that will move, touch, and inspire you to look into this work and to do things for your body, because we know this audience is out there looking for answers to their health and well-being, just like I did personally, and just like Dr. Olivetti did personally. And if you did not get to hear Dr. Olivetti's biography, please watch one of our other shows, because we just did an episode with Dr. Olivetti and her biography of her journey. Mm-hmm. And if you did not hear mine or Dr. Hinks or Dr. Bennett's as well, you can go back to those shows as well on Independence Television on YouTube. So Dr. Olivetti, we had met in chiropractic school. You had done a spinal lecture to me as a freshman, try one student in chiropractic school, and it helped explain what the body and how the body is designed and how chiropractic can help a person get well or be well. Because as we know, health comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. And that's our philosophy on health, and that's our viewpoint, which is different than modern society's viewpoint. And I want to ask you some questions because you're real fired up. You love your work that you do, and I would like to hear some personal stories and journeys about some of the patients and some of the people you took care of, and possibly maybe right even in chiropractic school, because that was the journey that touched and inspired us when we got to work on other students or patients in outside clinics.
Yeah. So I was in trimester 8, and this is the point in time in school when we start to see patients in the actual student clinic. And
so not students, but actual real life people.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so
yes.
for the audience, it's people from the outside coming in to the students' clinics or satellite clinics.
Yes, but at this point in time, I was transitioning from student clinic to the regular part of the clinic, and I had a visit in class. It was actually in class from the president of our school at the time, Dr. Goodman, and he showed up at the front of the classroom and specifically asked for me. So as you can pretty much guess, a lot of the students were like, oh, she's in trouble. And so I had built a relationship with him and his wife by this point in time, and so he came and got me, and he communicated to me that there was a practice member that had come to to the Logan Clinic and was seeking care. He was symptomatic with Parkinson's, and he didn't have anybody that could take care of him and his health care, and he asked me if I would be open to doing so. And it was really funny because I remember walking right up against his body, and I remember saying to him, I'm not going to do anything without you right next to me. Because in our school, doing the work that we do was not really allowed, and so he said, I am not going to leave your side. And in fact, I'm going to go up to the clinic with you, and I will stand outside the door. What matters most to me is that this gentleman gets well, and I need you right now. And I said, absolutely. So I got my equipment. I went into the clinic and I saw the gentleman, and we actually took a journey together for about 4 or 5 months. He was in the St. Louis area, and each time Dr. Goodman was right by my side, and we experienced some amazing dynamics within his body with this care. And I have to share, it really was a true testimony to the work that we do, because not only did I get to experience it as a new upcoming doctor, but the patient was just so appreciative to do that, and Dr. Goodman himself was absolutely amazed to see the work being done.
That's great. So to the audience, and we have talked about this on previous episodes, this technique is a specialty within chiropractic. So here we are in chiropractic school. You're taught several techniques.
Yes.
There's over 200 plus techniques that are out there in this world. This technique that you and I happen to practice is a specialty within chiropractic, and we've told the audience before, and I'll tell you again today, it's similar to like cardiology is to medicine. A cardiologist is a medical doctor, however, it's specialized training. So this work that we're doing was upper cervical knee chest chiropractic that was not specifically taught in our school.
No.
So that's why the Dr. Goodman, the president, came down to you, because he knew you were trained in the work. and certified in the work and said, hey, help me with this. And can you tell the audience why Dr. Goodman came to you with this specialty and this patient with Parkinson's, why there's that connection there?
Well, it was twofold. One being that he knew that I was certified at this point in time with the work that we were doing. He knew that I had trained with Dr. Kale. He knew that I was very excited about starting to see patients. So I think that was the first driver. But the second part is that he understood the brainstem and the power of it being the central generator of the human body. He understood that when there was interference on the nervous system due to a misalignment of the vertebrae onto the brainstem, that the body basically will go down into a dis-ease process, and a practice member's body will then start to display exorbitant symptoms. And in this particular case, this gentleman was involved in a car accident. And it wasn't until probably the second year after the car accident that he displayed significant symptoms. So the question was, can this practice member receive care with drugs? Was it a surgical issue? And he was seeking care from the chiropractic side because he knew that it was an alignment issue. It was an interference on the body issue. And so that's why he came to the clinic.
Yeah. So what's interesting is, and you said a couple of things there that really stick out to me. So it wasn't as if the Parkinson's patient came to have his back and his muscles worked on.
No.
The Parkinson's patient came to the chiropractic clinic to have his central nervous system, his brainstem worked on, because Parkinson's is a neurological disease disorder. Another interesting thing that you stated, Dr. Olivetti, was this patient had had an accident prior to his first symptoms showing up. And this is classic that we talk about this on this TV show. And this is very important, big takeaway on this segment here. If you have a fall or an accident, get checked, because if there is a misalignment interfering with that communication between your brain and body, Dr. Olivetti had talked about disease state. And in chiropractic terms, that's what we talk about, how if that signal is not firing, then you start to get symptoms. It may be a muscle ache. It may be a twitch, it may be a numbness, it may be the muscle fatigue in Parkinson's. So things start happening as far as domino effect symptomatically. In chiropractic, we call that disease state, where things start occurring. Yeah. And we're not grouping the symptoms together and calling them a disease, because that's what the medical profession does. What we do is we look at the signals from the brain to the body to say, okay, where's this interference? Mm-hmm. And Dr. Goodman, the president of the school, and there's hundreds of chiropractic students at the school at this time, because I think our class was 130 people, specifically came to you because he knew you were certified in this work and could do it and trust you in the work with this Parkinson's patient and see results that had occurred. And so whenever we come back from our commercial break, we're going to hear more of Dr. Olivetti's fun journeys and stories and testimonials with her patients over her journey of her life. So we'll see you after break. Hi, and welcome back to Health Beat. I'm your host, Dr. Barry Hobbs, today with Hobbs Pacific Chiropractic in sunny Livonia, Michigan. And with me today is Dr. Anna Olivetti, in from St. Louis, Missouri. And in the first part of the show today, we had heard Dr. Olivetti's first patient, one of our first patients in chiropractic school that was suffering with Parkinson's, and the impact that it had on this person's health, but also the impact of the work that we do, where the president specifically came to her and searched her out for this unique particular technique within chiropractic, and then the results that it got from this patient. So we want to jump back to Dr. Anna Olivetti. She has another wonderful testimonial with the patient who was suffering with cancer. So Dr. Olivetti, tell us your next wonderful story about this patient.
So at this point in time, I'm actually starting my journey as far as being a practitioner, and as I communicated in a previous interview, we tend to see the sick of the sick of the sick. So generally the patients that come to our office are patients that have sought out everything through the medical side and have not obtained any results with their journey on that level. Then they will seek somebody that does the work that we do, or they'll come to us through a referral. I had a gentleman that came to me through a referral source at my church, actually, and he had been diagnosed with stage 4 of pancreatic cancer. He communicated to me right away the symptoms that he was having. I did guide him to go to the medical side to make sure that if there was anything going on that I could co-manage the care if I needed to. So he did do that first, but then he gave me all the reports. And you know, again, the answer for what was going on in his physical body was not a situation that would be handled with drugs, because it was that far into its progression. It also was not a surgical issue, so he did not know what else to do. And at stage 4, you know, there really isn't a whole lot of answers out there. So, you know, we were both blessed with each other, and I started to take care of him immediately. And they had given him a term for his lifespan of about 28 days when I started his care. And he ended up really working well with me. He became like my brother and understood this care so well that through the time that I spent with him, which was mainly in the couple's home, there was 75 plus family members that would come to see him and learned of this work as well. And so we actually ended up taking him through almost an additional 3 months into his life here on the earth. And he just would thank me and thank this work every day, because it gave him that much more time to spend with his family members and his loved ones, where probably normally he wouldn't have been able to do so because his body was trying to shut itself down in a very negative way. But we were able to remove the interference off of the nervous system, and it enabled the innate intelligence within his own body to start to journey back towards what it could within the limitation of matter. And he was able to experience a full experience of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very touching, because we often say here, it's not about feeling better or getting rid of pain, it's about functioning better. And this is one of our goals on Health Beat here, is to express and educate you about the human body, about true health comes from the brain down the spine. And this pancreatic cancer patient did not come to Dr. Olivetti based on pain. He was looking for answers to health. And fortunately in this country, we have the independence to go to any physician and practitioner that we want to. And just like I was looking for answers with my headaches and migraines when I used to suffer with them, this patient was seeking answers. What can I do to extend my life? And one of the unique things that you said too is you found an interference in his body, and that interference was the signals from his brain to his pancreas, and quite frankly, the signals from the brain to his entire body. So your objective was not to cure pancreatic cancer at all. It was simply to find where is that short circuit from the signal from brain to body and open that up. And what I hear from you saying this is that it made him function better, which when you function better, your body is built to survive and be on this planet. And the brainstem that we talk about every time on the show, and the upper cervical spine, is called the reptilian brain. And reptiles can eat, breathe, and survive on this planet. Us humans can do that as well, innately and bornly, because you use the word innate, we use it on this show, but to remind the audience today, it's that inborn wisdom of the body. You and I don't have to think about it. If you cut your finger, we don't have to tell ourselves, hey, send eosinophils, basophils down there. It innately and bornly does that. So just like the pancreas, this pancreas functioning of this patient was not functioning well, got the disease process of cancer for who knows what reasons, probably multitude, and you were able to simply use the chiropractic principle of finding the interference from brain to body and open that up. And what's touching is that this is a patient that was told you have 28 days to live. So the impact on the audience would be, you know, your body is designed to survive and be well and be healthy. And this is something on Health Beat that we're here to say, you know, there are answers out there. This is the way the body works. And what's interesting with the way that we practice is that there's no other practitioner that opens up the brain to body signals, all the other practitioners and the way we're taught in society is listen to the signals from the body to the brain.
Yes.
So this man knew everything about his pancreas, and the patients did, and you were like, no, let me look somewhere else. So I want to hear, Dr. Olivetti, from this patient here and his family, the touching, the movement, the impact that had on you as a new doctor when you first graduated.
It absolutely projected and propelled my practice forward. It wasn't just the dynamics of building a practice, it convicted my heart and the mission I have on this earth. I saw through him, and he actually very directly communicated to me that I needed to do this work. I remember sitting on the floor with him just to do some physical therapy side because his body was shutting down, and we were just, doing exercises for that day. And I remember him just reaching out to me and, holding my hand, and he looked directly in my eyes and said, you have to do this work. You have to teach our public about what the brainstem's function is in the human body, what interference on the brainstem will do to the human body if there is interference on it, and the magnitude of the health care that they can receive by going into somebody's practice that does the work that you do, because there isn't any other avenue out there for sick people to get well.
Yeah. This is beautiful. What a phenomenal testimonial. I think we're going to need a box of Kleenexes here for this break. And this is the power and passion that Dr. Olivetti has in this world, in this work, because of that conviction of that patient and that touching. So after break, we're going to come back and hear more about Dr. Olivetti's conviction, about her view of healthcare. Hi, welcome back to Health Beat. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Barry Hobbs with Hobbs Specific Chiropractic. And with us is Dr. Anna Olivetti of St. Louis, Missouri, with the Specific Chiropractic Center in St. Louis, Missouri. So on today's show, we heard Dr. Olivetti's first amazing testimonial that really got her excited about the work. And then on the second part of the show today, we heard about this pancreatic cancer patient who really touched, moved, and inspired her about the conviction of the work that we do. And so here we are flying Dr. Olivetti in from St. Louis, Missouri on the show Health Beat, because we're here to educate you, the public, about the work that we do and about how the human body works and the way that it wants to survive and be well, because there are answers out there. If you're sick and suffering, there's ways to try to be healthy and to get healthy. So Dr. Olivetti, you had this pancreatic cancer patient that touched, moved, and inspired you.
Yes.
You were able to, through the work, extend his lifespan. He was given 28 days, and how much time did he have with his family?
About an additional 3 months.
An additional 3 months. The impact that has on saying what you have to say and doing what you have to do with your family members and friends is, quite frankly, every day, every second is priceless, because we're taught to wake up and say, thank you, God,
Right.
for another day that you're giving me.
Yes.
So you were able to do this. So you have this conviction, you have this testimonial. This is one of your first patients out in practice. And so we want to hear what you're up to now. And I know that this really helped propel you into the work. So what are you up to now, Dr. Olivetti?
So it's a culmination of everything that I've kind of shared with everybody is that I think the very first part of this is the students and the fear that is generated around them and that is surrounding them right now. So I have a huge mission on my heart right now, just to love with them and to help them understand that it's okay for them to be scared, that there is and confused, and that there is an opportunity for them to learn this work. First being our books, to dive into the books and to really get a grasp and understanding on the history and the philosophy of our profession. But also seeking out an avenue in which they can actually be taught the different facets of this work, being, who, what, when, where, why, and how on all of those levels with patient care. I think the other thing too for me is building the offices, because in sharing this whole work and the journey with my patient And what I had previously shared, I very much learned and understood the magnitude of being able to touch the multitude of lives here on the earth. There isn't really not a lot of ways to do that unless we offer centers or offices that has a goal and a mission to bring the multitudes of our public with an opportunity to allow them to be checked, because that's what this is all about. So I am very much pursuing an opportunity right now to join in a mission of bringing specific chiropractic care to the world through multiple office centers. And the beauty of all that would be along the lines of a franchise in which we can duplicate this within our new doctors. We can teach them the system of a business, and the system would allow them to be able to walk away from their practice, and the business would be able to produce without them physically being there, but it also enables them to have a basically kind of like a cookie cutter model to where that allows the doctor to focus 100% on the patient care, which is what we need them to do. But on the open public forum, what that mission says to you is it allows you to have a place near you that you can go to seek for your healthcare journey, in which you can be checked with your nervous system and have a full nervous system analysis done. If we determine that there's interference on the nervous system, we can journey through a set of x-rays and beyond that point and help you receive care.
So several of the things that I hear that you say is the reason why that we started HealthBeat is that, hey, this is the work that we've done for 20 years.
Yes.
This is the impact that it's had on
Yeah.
us three doctors as the host. And this is why we're having you on as well, is because you've been part of that journey for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so if you are part of the audience and you're a student looking into this work, Dr. Olivetti is talking about the fears that are out there. And the schools are not meant to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
And the dropout rate in these professional schools are quite large. It's very hard and trying. And so what Dr. Olivetti is, her purpose now and her mission is similar to us bringing you this information here on HealthBeat is, listen, I'm stepping into something bigger than my own private practice. I'm here to help out the students because we were a part of this journey. You know, why are they not teaching this specific technique in the school? And there's political reasons, but also board reasons why.
Yes.
And then you being the business person with your cousin, Dr. Mark, coming in and teaching you the business aspects before you went into chiropractic school, which is quite amazing because we only have 1 or 2 business classes in chiropractic school, helped you propel and do the business side of the chiropractic. So what Dr. Olivetti is doing here in her mission that she's been given is, hey, this is something bigger than me. This is about the world, the community, because this upper cervical work needs to be taught and communicated to the world. And this is why we're having you here on HealthBeat, because it's not just your own practice. You're here to help guide the students into a model of success and franchises. And this technique works, and it has a drastic impact on the human body.
Yes, I think more importantly, the big mission is to allow there to be multiple opportunities for the public to be checked if they want to seek health care that they're not able to obtain through other avenues.
Perfect, and it reminds me, when we first started practice 20 years ago, you had to look up in the yellow book or
Yes.
yellow pages.
Yes.
Some of the millennials may not know what that is, but
Yeah.
we didn't have the internet where you could look things up. And now with technology, you're able to quickly, and now with this franchise system in the training, able to efficiently and effectively find somebody who can deliver that same type of care
Yes.
in that same manner all across the world. And I'm going to use the analogy of McDonald's. McDonald's is not known for their quality of food, but for their systems of consistency and time. And
Yeah.
that's why it's all over this planet. And then, of course, a lot of the other franchises took
Yes.
over this business model. So within the chiropractic system, this is a franchise system to bring upper cervical chiropractic to the world and have it efficiently reproduce success, because the body is an amazing God-given machine and it wants to be well. So what a phenomenal mission that you have, Dr. Olivetti. It's been our humble honor to have you on the show. Your testimonials were impactful, and you're going to hear much more about Dr. Olivetti and her future endeavors because she is on an amazing mission. And we want to thank you all for joining HealthBeat again here at Independence Television in Clarkston, Michigan. And we want to wish you all a great day.